Okay, so transition metals. Um, Charges of transition metal elements. So we've been able to predict ions based on location. However, transition elements aren't as easy to predict. So a few common transition elements are below, and these charges you can write in your periodic table. Silver is always +1, zinc's always +2, and cadmium's always +2. So knowing that, I can I can write down formulas for these compounds without having to um, do too much. And so I look at silver nitrate, right? Silver's +1, nitrate's -1. So that is going to be AgNO3, okay? Zinc phosphate, zinc's +2, phosphate is -3. This would be Zn3. And then I got PO4, 2. And then cadmium chloride, cadmium's +2, chloride's -1, CdCl2. All right, and these numbers are subscripts, just so you know. Okay, so knowing these three, I know their charges. But many transition elements can have more than one charge and they become an ion. Copper ions, for example, can be 1 or 2. Iron can be 2 or 3, +2 or +3. So how do we solve that? Well, we got these critical thinking questions of how to find charge and how to name them, and I will do those now. Okay, so for 2 and 3, we want to try to find charge by comparing the bonds. So really I look at, I don't know Cu's charge, but I know there's only one Cu. There's 2 Cl's. Charge on a chloride ion is -1. So that means total of -2 charge, which means I need a total charge of +2. Since there's only one copper, each copper has a charge of +2. So I know the copper in this case is charged +2. I look here, I got 1 copper and 1 chloride. Chloride's -1, which means I have a total charge of -1, which means I need a total charge of +1, which means copper is a +1 charge. I look here at iron and sulfate. I got Fe, an unknown charge, but SO4 is -2. There's just one of them. So this is a -2 total charge, which means I need a +2 total charge. There's only one Fe, so Fe is a +2 ion. Here I have 2 Fe's and 3 sulfates, okay? Each sulfate is -2 for a total of -6, which means my Fe's are +6. But there's 2 Fe's where I split this 6 up, so each Fe is +3. So now I have copper and chlorine. So I have copper, chloride here, and copper, chloride here. How do I differentiate between these charges? And here's what we do. So in A, because the charge is +2, you put parentheses after the copper and you put a Roman numeral. The Roman numeral is the charge. Here, this would be copper 1 chloride. So now, this is copper 2 chloride, this is copper 1 chloride. The 2 means the charge of the copper is +2, while copper 1 means the charge of copper is 1. So here I got iron and sulfate. The charge of my iron is 2 positive, so it goes iron 2 sulfate. Here I have iron with a +3 charge, so it's iron 3 sulfate. So the charge is used as a Roman numeral in the name when we talk about transition metals. Okay, we have those in, and here's the answers. And so put the name and compounds, they have Roman numerals. Remember, the Roman numerals are the charge, okay? So that's your answer to number 4. What do the Roman numerals stand for? Roman numerals are the charge of the ion. Why is MnO2 called manganese 4 oxide? Do it now.
Okay, MnO2. What's the name? Well, Mn is an unknown. It's a manganese. It's in the periodic table as a transition metal. Don't know the charge. I have two oxygens. I know oxide ion is -2. So -2 and -2 make a -4 total charge, which means I need a +4 total charge. Since there's only one manganese, it gets all the +4 charges. So there's our charge on manganese. So this is called manganese 4. 4 is IV. Oxide. Manganese 4 oxide. And that's the name. Again, the 4 IV, it's not written very well. Let me try it again. IV is the Roman numeral for the number 4, which is the positive charge on manganese in this case.
Name the following compounds. Do it now.
Okay, so let's name some of these. Ni, unknown charge. NO3, -1 charge. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. That's -1. This has to be +1. So the name is nickel 1 nitrate, called 1 because nickel's +1 charge. Okay, so we got chromium and carbonate. I got 2 chromiums, and I have 3 carbonates. Each carbonate is a -2 charge, which gives us a total negative charge of 6, which means this has to be +6. But I got to split it amongst the 2 chromiums. So each chromium is +3. So this is chromium 3 carbonate. Again, the 3 is the charge of the chromium. Iron and nitrate, Fe, don't know the charge. Nitrate's negative. -1, +1, which makes that +1. So this is iron 1 nitrate. Cobalt and chlorine. Cobalt unknown. Chlorine is -1 charge. There's 2 of them for a -2 charge. Makes this +2 since there's only one place to go. Cobalt's a +2 charge, so this is cobalt 2 chloride. Copper and phosphate. There's 2 phosphates because there's a 2 here, and there's 3 coppers. Phosphate is a -3 charge. 2 of those together make -6, which means this is +6. There's 3 coppers, so each one is a +2 charge. So this is copper. +2 means it's a 2 phosphate. Manganese and sulfur. Okay, manganese unknown, sulfur is -2, which means manganese has to be +2 to balance the charges. So this is manganese 2 sulfide. Again, 2 because of the charge. Zinc and chlorine. Now, with zinc, remember zinc we always know is +2, so we don't have to write Roman numerals. If I know the charge, I don't have to. Zinc's always +2, zinc chloride. Same thing here. Silver, I always know the charge is +1. Silver nitrate. Again, no charge needed because I always know the charge of silver is +1.
Write the formulas for the following compounds. Do it now.
Okay, so now going from names to formulas, the good news is that these numbers always tell us the charge. So mercury is 2, so it's mercury +2, acetate, C2H3O2 with a -1 charge. I need 2 of these to balance the charge. So I have 1 of these, 2 of these, that's Hg, C2H3O2, 2. Chromium sulfate. Chromium 3 means chromium has a positive 3 charge, sulfate, is negative 2. So now I have to go back and forth here a little bit. This is our 3-2 combo here. 3-3, or 6. Now we got 2 of these, 3 of these. Cr2, SO4, 3. Again, chromate's charge is 3 because the Roman numeral is 3. Iron is 1, right? So if iron is 1, positive 1 charge, carbonate is CO3, 2 negative. I need another iron. To balance the charges, 2 of these, 1 of these, it's Fe2, CO3. Potassium carbonate, potassium is K. I know the charge of that. Carbonate is negative 2. This is just like we did before. If there isn't a Roman numeral, that means you know the charge, right? Strontium nitride, I know the charge of strontium is positive 2. In the periodic table, nitride is nitrogen, negative 3. Six and 6, 3 and 2, SR3 and 2. Manganese 4 chlorate, manganese, positive 4 chlorate, ClO3, negative 1. And you can see that this is, need 4 of these for every one of those, so it's Mn, ClO3, 4. Manganese 4 chloride. Again, the Roman numerals tell us the charge. If there isn't a Roman numeral, you should know the charge. Use the periodic table.